Hi, my name is Scott Ray, and we're going to go over the classroom plan that I've developed over the course of this class. Okay, so my mission statement, I think it's pretty standard for the types of things that we want to have for our kids, giving them the opportunity to learn. But specifically in my classroom, which is an East classroom, I want them to not only learn but apply critical thinking skills and try to solve problems in their community that they see, or try to offer support for the school and all the schools in the district, and try to solve their problems using all the technology that we have available to us in our classroom. Okay, classroom rules, pretty basic rules. Notice that they're not numbered because they're all equally important. So I expect the kids to just be on time and to be ready to participate in a group, on a project, or to just get started on independent work and when they come in. We have a lot of, like I mentioned, we have a lot of technology available, so I expect them to use it appropriately towards their project or for research. I expect everyone to, including myself, respect the safe place in the classroom. In this kind of class, we have a lot of ideas, a lot of brainstorming going on, and not every idea is going to work. So I want the kids to not be afraid to fail, because it's that kind of thinking that's really going to get us to solve some of these problems. So I want them to feel safe and know that it's okay to fail. I like to call it positive failure. So maybe we can learn from that and move on. And just stay positive in everything that we do. When you're communicating with each other, when we're working on projects, just to stay positive. All right, consequences. I really hate talking about this because I always hope that I'm not going to have any discipline problems in my class, but I do give a lot of reminders. I definitely use body language. If I'm really having trouble with someone, I may ask them to just take a time out, maybe go get a drink of water, and come back and kind of cool off and think about it, or think about your behavior, and then maybe just give them an opportunity to really think about it and reflect, and then I'll come back and I'll talk to them about it. I've never given out teacher detention. However, I've only been teaching for a half a year, but that's definitely what I will use, because that'll give me an opportunity to have them one-on-one without any distraction. And then if the offense is severe enough and I feel that I need to get the parents involved, I'll skip down to a parent phone call, or after repeated offenses. So when I call the parent, it's not just a call and let them know, hey, their kid did this or that. It's really an opportunity for me to have a conference with them and discuss the behavior, maybe the root of the behavior, and see if they're having some of the same problems at home. And maybe I can help by implementing some of the same consequences that they're using at home, and maybe help improve the behavior of the student both at home and in the school. And of course, finally, if I need to get the principal involved, at my school we have a vice principal assigned to each grade level. So if there's a severe offense that breaks certain rules of the handbook, I really don't have a choice. I have to refer them to the principal. Or if I'm having repeated offenses and I can't get the behavior to change, I will get the principal involved and maybe just work together with them to try to deter the behavior and change the behavior. All right, procedures. I love procedures. So I have the kids come in and they're going to know what to do automatically. I like to run the classroom almost like a workplace. So they're going to come in and get in their assigned seat at a round table before the bell rings and just be ready to go. They're going to do their own attendance. I have a status board. They just come in and just mark that they're present, just like we do, at work sometimes. They just come in and move their marker over, and that tells me that they're here, or that they're at a meeting, or I can tell that they're absent. I expect them to come in and just get started. If I have anything for them to do, they have a space on the whiteboard. They know to look there. They can check their email to see if I've sent them anything or gave them any feedback on a project or brainstorming, and then they just go from there and begin their work. Bathroom breaks, I tell them in the first 10 minutes they need to remain in the class. In case I'm putting out information, I don't want to have to put it out twice. It kind of slows things down. So after 10 minutes, I don't have a problem with them going to the bathroom. I only like a certain number of students out. So if there's a pass available, they can go ahead and take that, exit the room quietly, use the restroom, and come back. If there's not a pass, they need to wait for that person to return. And technology, I know I've mentioned already, we have a lot of technology in the classroom. A plotter, a TV, iMac, virtual reality, several 3D printers, and I think about 13 or 14 workstations. And so there's plenty of technology available to them. And the procedure in here is just use it as you need it. The workstations can be used at any time. Some of the technology, other things will just need to be signed out. And before they print on a 3D printer and a plotter, it needs to be approved before they print, just because of the cost involved if we make a lot of mistakes with those supplies. All right, contract, parent-teacher-student contract. If you notice for all three of the contracts, the word respect is in there. And I expect the parents to show respect to me and for their own children, and then the school, of course. And then for myself, it goes the same way. I expect, hold myself to a standard where I'll respect the student and I'll respect the teachers and also respect my colleagues and the school as well. But the students, importantly, they need to respect the school and the teachers, including myself, and they also should really respect their parents and their involvement in their education. Also, another word that shows up in all three is handbook. So I expect the students and the teachers to follow the handbook and abide by the handbook, and I hold myself to a standard where I will uphold that handbook and enforce it as needed. Sometimes it's at my discretion, but other times I don't have a choice, and that handbook needs to be enforced. So that's very important. You notice for students and for myself, it says at the end, have a positive attitude. I love a positive environment, positive attitude. It just equals positive energy, and everyone just gets comfortable, and we can really get a lot done. I also pledge to use my time efficiently and make the learning process fun and only assign meaningful work. And in doing so, I expect the students to come prepared and to do the work that I give them. So if we both do what we're supposed to do, it'll be a great year, and I really hope to have a successful year with every year, working together with the parents and the students and really get everyone involved in the whole education process for the students. Classroom signals, I have a desk bell. I love it. It's minimally disruptive, but everyone can hear it. So when they're working independently and I just need their attention, or if it starts to get a little bit loud, a little bit too much talking, I just ring that bell one time and everybody knows, get back on task. If we're working in a group, there's a lot more talking involved. There could be some equipment being used it might be a little bit loud. I'll use a clap sequence where I'll clap 3 times and then no clap 3 times, and everybody turns around and gives me their attention. If we're in a quiet place, I like to just use a hand signal, and what I do is I just kind of hold my hand up and just cross 2 of my fingers, and I'll get the attention of a couple of kids that are real close to me, and then they pass it passes around. It's contagious, and if someone's not paying attention and they're next to them, the students will tap each other on the shoulder or show them the hand signal, and it takes just a few seconds and I can get everyone's attention without having to raise my voice and cause a disruption. If we're transitioning, if we have some stations set up, or if we're getting ready to transition and leave the room or something like that, I'll just do 3 dings on the bell. Everybody knows, they've already had the instructions beforehand. They know, hey, that's transition time, and finish up what they're doing, put everything away, and get ready for the next thing. All right, conscious discipline. I had never heard of it before this class, but I've grown to love it. I've really adopted it in my home. I have a family of 9, so there's 7 kids. One's going to college this year, one's starting pre-K this year, and conscious discipline works for all of them. I love it. And what the biggest learning thing is it really starts with myself. And so what I've done is really tried to model the desired behavior that I want from my kids. And I'm looking forward to using this in my classroom and really develop an atmosphere where conscious discipline is just second nature. Another thing that I learned in conscious behavior, Dr. Bailey talks about empathy, and instead of discipline, sometimes use that opportunity to offer empathy towards the student and try to figure out what's going on with them. And when you do that, the student really doesn't have any choice but to take responsibility and ownership of their own behavior. And another thing that's important is it goes hand in hand with offering empathy. You get to know your students, you can kind of understand what's going on in their life. And you got a student that comes in every day with a smile, puts their books down, says good morning, and then all of a sudden they come in and they're a little bit different. You know that student, and you can reach out to the student, or if you haven't noticed it and they act out and that's out of character, you can maybe, instead of discipline in that situation, offer empathy and find out what's going on, because you know the student, you know this behavior is not something that's normal for them. And getting to know your students, you also can connect with the parents, and they can sometimes offer insight into what's going on with the student at home, or even outside of the home and outside of the school. And the communication can go both ways, and it's really a great opportunity to better get to know your student. And also important with getting to know your student is your students getting to know each other. And so through some team building exercise, some fun icebreakers, it really opens a door for students to build some really strong relationships. And I believe relationships is the foundation for learning. If the students trust me and they trust each other, they can be themselves. They feel safe to fail and to learn from that and work together, work with me. And I really embrace this concept of conscious discipline. It really empowers the students. They take ownership of their behavior. They reach out to others and just have that strong relationship with their peers. So this has been a great segment in this class, something that I'm going to be able to take with me and use in the future. So I've enjoyed the entire class and looking forward to being able to apply all of the things that are in this presentation for classroom management. I really believe that the assignments are stuff that we can take with us, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.